I don't know. I have this weird feeling that there's a little boy inside me.
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene. So you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
I'm going to skip right over that.
Is that the perfect quote? Didn't exist.
They said it, but we found it. All right, and we're back with part two of our
the squeakle.
Part two of our breakdown of P.S.S. I Love You, 2007 movie with Gerard Butler, Hilary Swank, and Kathy Bates, and some other people.
Yep.
It is our Happy St. Patty's Day movie.
That's right.
This is the week after. So you've recovered by now. So, dear listener, I'm sure.
If you're still hungover, nice.
You must be like my age. Or 30, according to this movie.
We're 30, right.
All right, so P.S. I Love You, we're back, part two. I already said all that stuff, 2007. We had a bunch of questions to answer, but we're probably not going to, but maybe we will. We're introing a new segment in this episode.
Yeah, that's true. Stay tuned towards the endish.
But since we said endish, you could probably just skip forward, and it doesn't matter. Just download the damn episode.
Don't skip forward. Yeah.
just download and like listen to at least the first minute or so, and then.
Yeah. I think the stats require like 90 seconds, maybe.
90 seconds. Okay. All right. So where we left off, we were in a hospital.
Hospital flashback. Yeah.
Hospital flashback, where Hilary Swank, Holly there, her face is all banged up, and Gerard Butler still being like, "Why are you mad at me, babe?" With
that accent, basically.
Yeah. Hey, babe, why are you mad at me, babe? Arr, babe. Arr, babe. So then we cut to current time, her walking in the street with her friends, John and Sharon.
Talking about how married people make each other feel like shit sometimes on purpose, and I disagree. That seems abusive. Healthy married people don't do that.
Yeah. Yes, if you're doing that, find someone else. I don't know.
You're a monster.
That's easier said than done, but Yeah, so she's also talking about how she felt like she made everything an argument, blah, 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 and she wished she could say something to him, and John's like, well, you can now by doing this. And cut to karaoke bar, right?
Which Denise has a nice, women empowering women bit, like the only empowering women bit in this whole.
Yeah, Lisa Kudrow coming through with a nice little, how she's basically, this guy walks by and can't wait to see if you recognize who this actor is or where he's from. But
yeah, I do know who he is.
Okay,
but I don't know what he's from other than one thing.
Yeah, so she basically just calls it, it's like, oh, look at that ass and that guy, right?
Yep.
And John there, Sharon's husband, whatever, goes on a little gross.
He stinks.
He's like, right?
Could you really be objectifying men that way? Blah blah blah. She's like, yeah. Everyone should objectify whoever they want.
If I had enough people staring at me in a lewd way, why can't I dish this back?
Exactly.
I agree. Go for it.
Then he turns around and we uncover that it's Mayhem. State Farm commercials.
I was gonna say, is it Progressive? Is that
Nationwide? Or I don't care. Yeah.
Is that like the character name is Mayhem?
Yeah. That's what I know him from. What do you know him from?
No, that's what I know him from too. I didn't know his like name, and that was like he had a character name.
I'll be like, when Mayhem shows up to do whatever, like he's like, I'm Mayhem.
That's why I recognize him. And he's been on a bunch of SVU like a long time ago. Yeah.
I just call him Mayhem.
That's funny. I'm what happens when you give your friend too many shots and they think they can sing Whitney Houston at 1 a.m.
Yeah. And then when you inevitably trip and break your face,
I'm there.
Insurance is here.
Insurance.
So then
Holly goes up and does karaoke.
But she goes up and sings their song. Her and what's his face? Jerry.
Jerry.
His actual name.
Yeah, Jerry.
His real name, Jerry. In her mind, like the bar is empty and she's just singing to Jerry, and Thais is crying number 5.
Yes. It is. It's not good. It's tough. And they cut back to like
sucks at singing.
They cut back to the whole crowd and was kind of like
one person claps.
Yeah, because it's like depressing. It's like sad and depressing. It's not like go up there and sing, some Journey song. That's what everyone sings, or Bon Jovi, friend of the pod. Ugh. The not Canadian singer.
That's right, Canadian John Bon Jovi.
I think it's John Bon Jovi's, or is it
John's Bon Jovi?
John's Bon Jovi.
Yeah, he's named after the Martian Manhunter.
Yes. So yeah, it's awkward. It's sad. And then we're still at the same bar. Kudrow there goes and talks to the insurance guy, Mayhem.
Yep.
And we cut to like Daniel flirting, right, with Holly or something.
Yep, that's right. He shows up to her booth and it's weird. He calls her Jerry, which I was like, wow, like that's not a good bit.
No. Yeah, I don't.
He's like, hey Jerry. Oh, my bad. Also, you're a terrible singer. Do you want some food? And she's like, what? She's like, no.
It is all very jarring and very terrible.
And like abusive. Like then he comes back and he's like, oh, God, just tell me, what do women want?
What do women want? Tell me.
Like, if you don't like me, you must be gay or something, right? And she's like,
what?
Except for it's not that, and it's 2007. And she goes, the secret is we don't know what we want. And he's like, I knew it.
Damn it. Little saxophone. Ends up giving her a number. They talk about the Yankees game, defying God and going to Yankees game. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. Her and Jerry going to go see a Yankees game or something like that. And then
something about vomit.
Yeah, and then he gives her a number and he's like, oh, just, if you want to get out, I'm just flirting. What is wrong with you?
Don't puke on me.
Bye. Have you taken your meds today? And then we're back in the apartment. And then we get letter number 3, 4. 3
in the dry cleaning.
And she gets a leather jacket. And then this is basically when he gives her permission, more controlling of her now, controlling her space now.
He's like, throw out all my old shit.
You're
basically right.
Like, it's pretty much, but you got to keep the leather jacket, but everything else throw out.
Yeah.
Make some space for yourself. She's like a strange person. She packs all the clothes in cardboard box. I don't know. I just throw them in a trash bag.
I think she's going to keep them. Yeah.
Throw it in a trash bag and drop it off at Goodwill. Call it a day.
Yeah. No, I think she's going to put them in storage or something.
Oof, that sounds like a bad idea. All right. Then we're outside and it's Holly and Daniel hanging out, having a little date.
Which I was like, what? We just established that he stinks.
Yeah, like
we just reestablished that he stinks.
And then she keeps bringing up Jerry, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I keep bringing him up." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of getting sick of it." I was like, I thought he was joking, but I think he meant like,
I don't know, it was messed up. Like he wasn't brought up like a joke.
No, and the delivery was just very strange. I don't like.
You must be getting sick of me talking about Jerry. He's like, yeah,
I am starting to get sick of it.
He's like, you're kind of a pervert, huh? Eating corned beef sandwiches at an Irish memorial. And she's like, what? You didn't catch that part?
No, I missed it.
Well, that's how they talk about dead Jerry, because she's like, well, Jerry always said it was good to like show the ancestors that we have plenty now. You're like, that's a weird way to frame that, but okay. Like it's good to show the ancestors we're not suffering anymore. He goes on a whole monologue about not wanting to age. He's like, how arrogant are we that we don't want to be young?
Yeah, because they're talking about a couple that was making on the background, right? And it's just weird. He goes on this like just speech about just kind of philosophical speech about life and like being alone and whatnot.
It's stupid.
And she's talking about how being alone. He's going on about like, isn't it great about getting old? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Then he spills his sandwich on his shirt.
This guy's a mess. Like, you've been up to the plate twice now, and you've struck out multiple times. Like,
learn a lesson. Go home.
Damn, just go home.
But instead, she asks him now to help her get rid of Jerry. And he's like, "Oh, I'd be happy to help you get rid of Jerry." And she's like,
"Oh, I don't mean it that way."
Yeah, not like this.
Because he's already been gotten rid of.
Yeah, he's dead as hell,
or so we think. Spoilers. I watched a different DVD with different commentary, and he ain't dead. All right, so we're back in the apartment, and basically all that happens here is Daniel walks in, and she's like, "Oh, this is weird. It's the first dude in the apartment since Jerry."
Yeah, I've never been in this apartment alone with another man. And you're like, "Oh, okie dokie."
Yeah, they got married when they were 19, so
way to make it weird.
Yeah. And then we're apartment nighttime, and she's got more delusions of Jerry in bed with her.
Well, right before that, when he's still there, I thought this part was just weird. She's like, I'm going to go get changed now. If you want to take a look around and take any of Jerry's stuff, just let me know.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Daniel, that's a trap, because then if you're wearing a shirt that Jerry used to own, she's going to keep thinking you're Jerry.
That's right. As if that doesn't happen enough already. And so in her dream, remembering Jerry asks her if she found a new husband yet, which is weird. And then she's like, why haven't you been around? And he's like, I'm always around. I'm always inside you and around you. Ours.
Ours.
Yeah,
that's it. He's just
that's kind of it.
Yeah, creepy ghost. Mm-hmm. Summertime.
Living's easy.
Yeah, and then she's we're in the apartment mailbox here area, and she's basically just eyeing and scaring shit out of the mailman. Like, that's right. Don't do that to your mailman. Leave him alone. He's just already stressed as it is. There's dogs. We don't need people giving the mailman a hard time.
No, his life stinks.
Yeah, let him do his job and let him move
He's
on.
terrified of her.
Yes, she's staring at him.
Rightfully so.
Then we're cut out to the streets, right?
There's a taxi that pulls up, and she gets out of it, and she's looking for Barbara in some random building. Yeah. And then she goes and finds Barbara in said random building, and Barbara looks at her and says, "You're his wife?" And then she starts crying.
And then we cut to the bar. We're back at the bar. Mom, again, continuing to be reasonable. She's like, this has got to stop. You got to get over this stuff, right?
Yep.
But then we learned that basically they went to a travel agent, and Jerry has set up a trip for her and her two friends to go on vacation.
Which free trip?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, yeah, I'm not going to turn that down, Mom. Get out of here.
Idiot mom. She's just jealous because she wasn't invited and she wants to go to Ireland. That's what it is.
I'm also wondering, like, how did this all? I mean, I know Jerry had plenty of time to arrange all this, but like, the estate is paying for this. It's basically her money anyway. That's
yeah. Like, did he have money? He didn't have money.
No.
Where is the money coming from?
I don't know. Like, basically, she's taking her friends on a vacation out of her own pocket.
Like, yeah. Shit. I mean, was the limo business doing that well?
No. Decidedly not.
Just flat no.
They were complaining about it.
You might as well be selling flowers,
Right. Exactly. Oh my God, that's a fool's game, as we all know.
Fool's game, not fool's gold. All right, maybe it is fool's gold actually.
Oh, like the pirate movie.
Yeah, see what I did there?
Matthew McConaughey.
Yep.
Friend of the pod.
Kate Hudson, friend of the pod.
Right. She's not in that.
Oh, yeah, fool's gold. She is. Oh yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's Kate
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
All right, like, get back on track.
This movie's a lot like that movie too. Oh shit, that would have been another good one. What was the Kate Hudson movie we did? It was all sappy and she dies of cancer, or her.
Yeah.
It was the same movie, wasn't it?
It was named after this. Yeah. Oh God. A Little Bit of Heaven, named after the little person's sex worker's nickname.
Yes. Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. Don't forget.
Yes. Never forget.
Don't forget that it's called that because of that. Horrible.
This movie it's the same movie, except she dies in that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Of cancer.
What a nightmare movie. That's right.
All right. So there's that. Connections. It all comes back together, right?
Mm-hmm. It all comes back to Kate Hudson, who's not in this movie.
She's not in this movie. All right, so they're in a bar and they're like setting a dinner table. And it's basically gonna be a family dinner. Mom, two sisters, and two daughters, and they're talking. Like, mom is talking loudly about like Daniel, who's just in the back storeroom, like putting things away.
She's like, "Why aren't you fucking Daniel? He's right there."
And she's like, "Hey, we're just friends." And he's like listening. He's like, "Aw, Eeyore,
not again."
Oh man, not again. They're basically going on vacation to upstate New York, upstate Ireland. Then there's like a classic mom-daughter argument, right, about the dad's leaving and people dying, right? Yeah.
Well, and this is where I feel like one of the only parts of the script where I was like, all right, Kathy Bates' character is now jumped the shark, when she's like, she's basically like comparing her husband leaving her to him dying of brain cancer. Like, oh, it's so much easier to be abandoned by choice, is it? And you're like,
well,
yes, I think like that guy's still alive. And then she's like, well, I guess I said my piece. Okie dokie.
Like I said, classic mom-daughter argument.
Yes, exactly. And then you get a nice quick cut of Daniel ripping up the Yankees tickets because he's sad, which you're like, that's not how tickets work.
Yeah,
like, you fool.
I was like, resell those, you dummy.
Yes.
It's 2007. Like,
yeah, the Yankees were good then.
I have no idea. I think they're always good, right?
Yeah. Damn it. Stupid Yankees.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So he tears up a tick. He's like a dummy. And then we cut right to the sister and she's like, so where are you going? Like a dumbass. I'm like, what is going on? And that's the only other time we see the sister. I think then she's done for the rest of the movie.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. I think that's it. Where is he sending you? So this is pretty much halfway point of the movie. We're about an hour and change in. Yeah. So title card. We are in Ireland, aka upstate New York.
The great state of Ireland.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they pull up to some house, about 7 or 8. And
this is the part when I Thais made me promise to her that I would leave a scavenger hunt for her when I die. I mean, life expectancy for men is going down constantly in this country. So
yeah, I mean, God,
she'll definitely outlive me.
Yeah, start playing that now.
Yeah, exactly. You might have to help pull it off if you're still alive. Then
I could do that. Yeah, we'll do a joint one where like
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. Whichever one of us dies first.
Yes. You have to wait till you die, damn it. Yeah, they're just hanging out. They check out the house, cool. And he left letters for the friends, but not for her. So she's like, "Oh, I'm bummed. I'm all the way in Ireland. He didn't leave me a letter."
Well,
when they're in the house.
Before that, she's not quite sad yet about that. At least she's like, because I don't know why Denise is bummed just about like being in Ireland on an all expenses paid trip with her friends. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
And Holly's yelling at her, and then that's when Sharon goes into the house and finds the letter addressed to her. Hey, Big Mama. And that's when it's like the whole fishing bit. And Denise is like, "Whoa, he must have left one for me too. Where's mine?" And then they're like, "The bedroom." Like, because what? Denise sleeps around. Like,
yeah,
what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Treat yourself,
Yeah, exactly.
Do your thing.
And then that's when she's like, "Well, he didn't leave me one."
Yeah. Well, they're in the back, like talking about it too. I was like, all right, okay, get over it.
Yeah, basically that's about it. After then, it cuts to the bar.
And then this is when we spot Jeffrey Dean Morgan coming in here.
Jeffrey Dahmer Morgan. Yeah.
Get some good lines from Kudrow there. Please let me buy him as a souvenir.
Mm-hmm.
They're just oogling Jeff. Mm-hmm. William. His name is William. He has a name. He's playing guitar up on stage, and then the friends are just like pushing her, Holly, to get out there. Like, go talk to him. He's at the bar drinking a pint,
You're an exotic American. People like that.
She finally goes and talks to him, and it's just awkward, right? Yeah, this is when we hear Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Irish accent, and it is
not great.
I mean, Jerry's isn't bad, but
Jerry's is not good.
No, but it's not this. Like, this is bad. Like, come on.
Even worser.
So yeah, they're talking, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go do an American song that you like," or something like that. And he goes up on stage,
basically,
and dedicates a song to her. And
I've got one more song for you. I hope you listen. I'll see you after.
And that's better than the accent he was doing. He starts playing the song, and of all of the songs he picks to play, you know how many songs there are written by American song, like. Of all of the songs. Like, you could have picked any other song, but he had to pick this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one that Jerry played for her, or was playing when they early on. Not when they first met.
When they second met. That was later that night, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
The timeline gets destroyed.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I hate that.
Yep. So this is when Ty starts crying again, also, by the way, number 6.
so he starts playing the song, William there, and we get Holly going into a catatonic flashback here.
Basically, yeah, another long catatonic flashback.
And it was like, of all the songs, dude, really? And we cut to them at the pub the second time they met, which that'll make sense now later on. Why would they do that? It's stupid.
I don't know.
And Jerry just kind of chases after her. She's wearing whatever. And
I had to get Thais tissues at this point because she was crying so much.
Wow, so many tears, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then they kiss at the bar, and then they cut back to real life, and Holly just leaves, and William is like, "What the fuck, babe?" He's like, "What the fuck, babe?" I dedicated this song to you, babe.
And we cut to the alley briefly.
We expose that this is torture, what he's doing, and it's cruel and
right.
And unusual punishment.
She's like, "Why does he make me want to do these things? It makes it so much harder."
Yeah, and this is
I bet.
Yeah. And they're like, and she's like, "This is cruel," and they're like, "He doesn't mean it to be cruel." Yeah, that's.
I was like, "Thais, you sure you want me to do that to you?"
Yeah.
She said, "Yeah." So, all right.
It says every abuser ever. I don't mean it to be cruel, babe. Just I love you so much.
I love you so much. I can't help myself, babe. Take a bullet for you, babe.
So then we're at a lake.
Yeah.
Fishing.
The next day, I guess.
I hate this whole scene. So we're just fishing. We're in a boat. They're talking. Fishing hijinks happens. Stuff from the trailer, right?
Yeah.
They lose everything into the water. We lose all the oars. We lose all that stuff. But
yeah, they get in a big fight. And then they knock all the stuff into the water. And then get the oars. Like the oars aren't far from them. Like at that point, at least. I'm sure they floated away. Post haste.
Can any one of you swim?
Right. Like
it's a canoe. You can get back in.
And Ty's like, "Well, it's cold." And I was like, "Yeah, but."
So is sitting out on a lake for 8 hours.
Exactly. I was like, just like the oar. It was probably like 4 feet away from them in the water. Like they probably wouldn't even have to get in the water necessarily. They could probably just like lean over. I don't know. A lot of options here.
Yeah, a lot of options. A lot of logic just kind of forgotten here.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing we can do.
I also don't know, why were they wearing like the airline flotation device things? Like just wear a regular old life preserver, like life jackets.
They don't have to be inflatable ones.
Yeah, they wouldn't be. Like
odds are good. You're right. I guess the inflatable ones are probably more comfortable.
Yeah, where they, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm surprised they're wearing life jackets at all. Honestly.
It's a lake.
Right.
It's a lake.
Well, but it's a lake in Ireland, so who knows? Maybe it's
they're
bottomless.
A lot of drownings happening in lakes, so always wear a life jacket. That's what we're getting. Long story short is always wear a life jacket.
That's ITMT safety tip number 86.
86, yeah.
Always wear a life jacket.
Always.
Always.
So then the friends drop like major news here.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting with the blankets now. It's been a couple hours, and then Sharon's like, I'm having a baby. And then Denise is like, I'm getting married to the Mayhem.
Yeah. Wait, is she getting married to Mayhem?
Yeah.
I thought it was just some guy.
Yeah. What happens when you have too many shots and you go to the bar and you go home with the first guy. And I was like, man, ladies, give it a little space here. This seems like
too soon. And also not what she wants to hear about right now.
Sad Holly. Because it was literally the things that she was married and they were going to have a kid. And so we get sad Holly again. I'm like, you just triggered her sadness. No, she's gonna be sad.
You triggered the sadness.
No, she's gonna be sad for another 20 minutes of this movie now. Just when we were getting somewhere good, she was smiling. She was on a boat.
I did like the line here when they're like cutting away from it, and she's like, "That's a lot of information to get in one boat." You're like, "Yep, fair enough."
Yeah, not wrong. And then hours pass. It's nighttime, and we get rescued. And guess what? It's William. So dumb.
So frustrating.
I hate that.
And then they go home and eat spaghetti, which I have so many questions. Like, why are you cooking spaghetti in Ireland?
Yeah, Chef Boyardee. They just bought it.
Yeah, after you spent a perilous day on a lake, apparently, like that's what you want to do is go home and cook.
that's your meal. That's the meal.
So frustrating.
It's what Jerry bought. It was part of the plan. He left because he controls their eating habits.
Spaghetti, ours.
That's all you're getting is spaghetti all weekend long, and a morning glasses of water.
Did I ever tell you I was Italian?
Spaghettios.
And then the other her friends here are basically like disqualifying themselves as potential lovers. They're like, "Oh, she's pregnant. She's getting married."
Yeah.
I guess that was supposed to be funny. And then they're like, "Well, William, like you can stay the night, by the way."
Yeah, he's like, "I would like to take a shower," and they're pushing. He go take a shower, and we'll set you up on the couch and everything, right?
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like he's like, it's a long drive, and you're like, then why were you the one to save them? And like, why do you have this job if you're? Yeah, this isn't something you commute to
for twice a week.
Like, right? Like nothing with this internal logic makes sense.
No, nothing fits. Like, it's a long drive. Well, you drove to get here.
You chose this.
You drove out here to do your job.
This is your part-time job that I'm sure you don't get paid very much for.
A patrolman of a lake in Ireland? Right. What are you patrolling for? Fucking Loch Ness Monster? Get the fuck out of here.
I guess so. Dumb. So stupid.
Patrolling for American women who are stuck in a boat, right?
All right.
Then when they lose their R's. Moving on. So he's showering, right? And then
it seems like it's hours later.
Yeah.
Like he's still showering.
And then she's like cleaning up around downstairs and she can hear the friends upstairs. So I couldn't understand what's going on here. So she hears them chatting. Overhears them chatting, and then like, were they lying about the baby in the wedding thing?
No. Okay. No. They're just super excited about it. That's I had the volume cranked so I could hear. But they're basically just like, oh my God, like as soon as you get married, you have to get pregnant. That way we can have kids at the same time. Oh my God. Like,
I thought she said as soon as we get home, you have to have a baby to make this real.
No. She was like, if you have a baby with me, then we can have more fun with babies together. Yeah. Like, oh yeah. And that's when she was like, I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that there's like a little boy inside me. And you're like, what? What?
And what about Holly? Holly who? Oh yeah, Holly does. Yeah.
Oh Holly, yeah. Downstairs, right? Downstairs. Yeah. She'll probably be cool with it.
Yeah, she'll be fine, right? She'll figure it out. She'll find someone. Everyone does.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a little William ass, right?
I miss it because I was laughing too much at I have a weird feeling there's a little boy inside me.
Yeah, we get a little Jeffrey Dean Morgan will.i.am ass. Oof,
Yeah,
there it
didn't
is.
last very long.
It was a brief nude. Yeah,
there's
our brief nudes. Brief nudes.
That's right. Keep it PG-13.
PG-13 brief nudes. Holly's pouring a drink. She's distracted by the ass. She's pouring a drink, spilling booze everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, what are you walking around downstairs all naked? He's like, oh shit, sorry, I didn't see you in there.
Oh, my bad.
I thought you were upstairs. Like,
what?
You're not even in your own home, and you're just walking around down. Like, it's the living room.
Ludicrous.
You're on a pull-out couch in the living room, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
I hate everything about it.
And then they start kind of talking and kind of having this weird thing, and she's like, oh, it's been a while since. And then they have some weird joke about dating 13-year-olds.
I do. It was like exactly as jarring as it sounds, where he's just like, she's like, yeah, it's been a while since I, and he's like, well, I'm not dating 13-year-old. And you're like, what?
Or he said like, you're cute or something. And she's like, oh, no one said that to me since I was 13 or whatever. And he's like, at least I'm not dating 13-year-olds. Like, why? That's not.
Yeah.
It's another one of those awkward dialogue lines, which
is it 2007's fault? Is it 2007's fault? Like a lot of this?
I think there's a lot of combination here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
I keep forgetting. Like, is that what the world was like? It doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but I guess.
Sadly, Jared, I don't know if it's changed much, but just we don't see it in pop culture anymore.
I get. Well, good. That's a change. That's a positive change.
Yes, but we probably still do though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a bad joke. It's just weird. It's just awkward.
And then they kiss, right? Because it's romantic.
And then what anyone does right after.
Fuck teenagers. Let's make out.
I want to go after women who used to be 13-year-olds.
And they both kind of push each other away.
Yeah, and she's like, I can't do this. She's like, I'm trouble. Not like the Pulp Fiction kind, but like the wacko trouble. I'm not cool. I'm a rebel. I'm a crazy dottie.
Right. And something about shoes?
Yeah.
And being barefoot?
Yeah, he's like, well, why don't we go barefoot? I'm like, what? What is
is this the innuendo?
Yeah. Did I just make him Southern too? Like, well, why don't we go barefoot then?
Why don't we go barefoot?
You know what I like to do in these moments after making a weird 13-year-old joke and kissing? Going barefoot.
Let's meet up with Kathy Bates and have a sweet tea.
Let's go barefoot in the backyard. And they're chat. And so then it just cuts to them cuddling in bed naked.
That's right. We used up all our brief nudes earlier, so we can't have any more brief nudes.
Brief nudes. Brief nudes. So much fun. Yeah, and then they're just cuddling. I was like, oh, so they did do it.
They fucked. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the first line in this new scene here in bed is like, he was a good man, I reckon. Your man who died.
Like, what?
Why would you say that?
What? Why is he bringing up the ex-dead husband?
Like, yeah, he was. She's
and
like,
it gets better.
She's like, by the way, can you drive me to Innsbruck County or whatever?
Yeah, and it's scary. And he's like, oh, wait, hold on. Do you know
who you visiting there? Yeah, she's like, in-laws.
Yeah, the Kennedys.
Wait, you don't mean
not our Kennedys, by the way. Although they probably was there.
I'm Billy from Jerry's band. She's like, what?
This is when I thought one of my prognostications would come true. I was like, he's the brother.
Well, because he does look a little like it. Like
that's why I was
like
going.
Jerry.
That's why I was going on that path, right? So yeah, we find out that they've been best friends since little kids, and they're in a band together. And he recognizes her from when she visited when she was at college. That night, he was in the band.
You're Jerry's girl from that night.
Wait a second, were they good enough where if you go back to that flashback, was he playing in the background?
Probably.
I didn't.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, So yeah, I was like, this is all weird. And then he's like, oh, don't worry about it. We shared everything. I was like, dude, what is going on? Yeah.
And he's like, we shared everything. Jerry wouldn't have a problem with this. Well, maybe he would, but not much he can do about it. And you're like, what? And then he goes and talks about Jerry's tumor. And he's like, yeah, something about a tumor. I haven't seen him in a while. I don't know.
I was watching this movie. I was like watching a horror movie, like through my fingers. I was like, oh, no. Stop talking.
So cringy. Yes. And then it gets worse because he's like, want me to tell you stories about Jerry? And she's like, very much.
And he's like, oh yeah, come back. Sit back here. Come on, lay down. Let me cuddle in. They
cuddle into me naked again.
And he's telling her stories about them.
Jerry was my best mate until you started crying again. This is crying number 7 because this is romantic somehow.
Let me tell you the time my best mate and I went barefoot all across Ireland.
Yeah, let me tell you about the time my best mate and I faked our own deaths and we had a threesome with Luis Guzman.
Those were the times
are romantic.
Oh my God. Oh shit. That one threw me for a loop. That was good. That
whole scene. Bananas.
I mean, we're sitting here laughing. Maybe this is a rom-comedy. This is a rom-com. For all the wrong reasons.
Exactly. Titus was sobbing in this scene. like I don't think we got it.
Oh my goodness. All right. So then we gotta move here. So we're at we got to the farm, and basically this is just meet the parents day, right? Meet the parents. They got a letter. There's another letter involved. And we get some good old. So they meet, and then we hear that the father was actually like coming back from surgery or something. That's why they couldn't make it over for the funeral service, and they wanted to be there or something, right? Or he had some problem. He couldn't walk.
That's the excuse.
Yeah, I don't know. We get some good old fashioned Irish guilt from the mom. Like, come on, visit. She's like, don't put that on her. She ain't blood or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, like, Jesus. Yeah, I don't think I packed it up for this guilt trip, lady. Like, holy shit.
Seriously.
Oh my God.
And then this is when they reveal that there's another letter here. There's a letter for the parents.
Yep.
And Jerry guessed that she would visit them, and there's a letter for her there too.
Yeah. And then there's lots of awkward smiling between them, and then we cut to
the fort.
Which is just a rock wall. I
want to go to the fort. Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, it's just a pile of rocks, right?" He's like,
he was kind of an idiot. I mean, him.
And then she just like stands there for a second and reads the letter, and then it flashes back.
Yeah, so that's a good point, because this scene is so long. So it cuts to her. Well, she's reading it and kind of, I think, recreating. So she goes and walks the rock wall, and then she's still reading the letter.
This is just where I stood thinking about you after we first met.
And they're just on the random road. It's on the trailer. And he's just walking on this random road and just runs into her, and she's like, "I'm lost. You remember what the first words you said to me were? I'm lost." And I was like, why is she acting this way? What is going on? And I was like, because she was supposed to be like 18 years old.
19, I guess. Yeah.
Well, they got married. So they got married.
Yeah.
I mean, cutting it close there, Jerry.
Yeah. And Gerard, like Hilary Swank, the way that they did her outfit and stuff, like I could pass for college age. Yeah. Jerry looks like he's in his late 30s because he is.
He's supposed to be playing it. He's supposed to be like 23, 24 years old.
Yes.
If we're doing our math here, right?
Yes, exactly. And he was 38 when they filmed this movie.
A lot of de-aging before de-aging was popular.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, that hurts. I was like, why is she acting? So she's on a college trip. She's like, I'm on a college trip, and I'm out here alone in Ireland looking for a park.
The lines are so stupid because he's like, you don't look lost to me.
What?
She looks lost as hell.
Yeah, this is very
she's
lost.
Like, it's cold, and he's like, no, it's warm. And you're like, Ireland isn't like.
Welcome to Ireland.
Like she's from New York. It's not like she's from like California. Like she's like, oh, I'm freezing. It's like. It's like, no, it's warm for Ireland. And she's like,
you're above the equator. It's
like 50 degrees probably. And she's like, oh, yeah, I don't know anything. I've never felt temperatures this cold.
What is wrong with you?
No.
Oh my God. I'm on a college trip. What are you studying? Art. Okay.
Yep.
And all right, we're moving on.
Then they start walking.
They have this little flirty kind of, I'm walking this way. You're walking that way. You need to go this way to go to town. Whatever. Okay. So this
scene's way too long.
So then they're like just walking and walking and walking. And now there's this really meta moment of him narrating.
Yeah.
Right, him narrating the scene from the letter that she's reading in real life in a flashback.
That he's also in.
He's also in. Yeah.
Right.
That's too much. You gotta back that up a notch.
He's like, I loved you there and then.
And they're walking and they're walking.
Gives her his jacket.
And then they stop, and then this scene was just really annoying. He's like, they're talking about kissing, and like he's going on about like sending out the truth or something, and then she like starts to walk away. Right. And like she shakes his hand, is like, oh, okay, I gotta go, blah blah, right? Because I forget if they kiss or not. And then he does this creepy move.
They don't yet.
Not yet.
He's explaining the origin of the jacket. He's like, I want it in a bet. I bet that I couldn't kiss that guy's girl.
Right.
And she's like, well, did you? And she's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did.
Like, oh, okay, cool. And then, then it's a wild Irish dog attack.
Yeah, which it's not really, but he plays it up and he does this creepy move where he gets close to her and he like hugs her from behind. And I was like, come on, what is going on? Why is this? This isn't romantic. This is creepy.
At first, like I'm like wondering, like, was Hilary Swank into this scene at all? Because like she looks like kind of skeeved out at first, and then she starts playing along with it, and you're like, what? This seems incongruous. Like,
well, she doesn't until the dog comes up to her and he's like holding her and he's like, oh, it's a wild dog, whatever, and she sees that the dog has a name tag on it,
right?
And then she starts playing along with it.
Do you think he'd be upset if we turned around and faced each other?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, maybe if we do it slowly, ours.
And she turns around and then it gets creepier, right?
Yes, because she's like, oh, like I don't kiss that many. My boyfriend at home,
Tommy,
yeah.
Of course.
And she's like, well, of course, he's a boyo, and kissing is a man's business. And you're like, oh,
what's happening?
What is wrong with you?
So then they kiss, and then she backs away, and then she's like, and then she goes on this whole thing about like, don't give me any details about who you are, what's going on. I'm wearing your jacket. Right. I'm gonna keep your jacket, and then if we find each other, it means it's.
She just stole his jacket.
Basically. She basically just like stole his jacket. I was like, if I see you again.
To be fair, he did steal from that other guy. So
it's true. So it is a weird like pay it forward. He could have done pay it forward meets Ghost here.
Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah. So she just backs away and she's like, oh, if we meet again, we'll meet again. Blah blah blah. And he's like, well, I'm playing at the pub tonight and blah blah blah. She's like, no, don't tell me. If I walk in, that means it was meant to be. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Then it cuts back.
Oh, so I was just gonna say we get the line from the trailer about remembering and stuff like this because it cuts back to her now reading the letter.
Yeah.
In that moment at that place.
Ghost is with her wearing the jacket.
Yes.
And Tice is crying, number 8.
All right. So we're back in actually at the end of that, he tells her to go home too. That's important. As part of the letter, he's like, tears. He's like, go home and find that thing,
whatever. Who cares?
So then we're back in New York and she's got a sweet list, career goals. We've all got it, right?
Sure.
Make 100K. That's a good top of the list.
I didn't see the list.
So it was just, I think there was 3 out of them. I missed the third one, but the first one was make 100K and second one was bigger apartment, which isn't really a career goal. That's more of just life goal. But
yeah,
I was also like, you're single and you're living in this.
Yeah. What?
When you happen was when you lose a roommate, you get more space.
Right. Exactly. And 100K in 2007 money, like she would have been doing well.
Yes.
Well, maybe not for New York. I don't know.
Yeah. And then as this is going, we pull in that other kind of mechanism, that trope of like the voiceovers of messages from friends. You know, she's ignoring basically.
Same as the beginning.
And she's just trying to figure out what she wants to do with her life, right?
Yeah. Except everyone is like furious because it's been a while, it seems like. And they're like, oh, I guess you're not going to be like, be my friend anymore because you don't talk to me anymore. And
yeah,
it's stupid.
Well, I guess there's a nugget in here too. We should reference here because he does say throughout he's going to help her, with her job thing.
Right.
It's a sign, blah blah blah, and there's all about signs and stuff like this. And but everyone's mad with her, and there's like a cut of them. It's kind of like montagey, right? Of like her trying to figure out what she wants to do, and he's like, "Well, you can't be a secret agent or a vampire slayer, or whatever, but you could be a pirate."
Why would you? Yeah, like those are the things that she has like on her like vision board is like secret agent and vampire slayer, and you're like, you are not mature enough to be doing any of this. Apparently, at 30.
Like, what is happening?
If you're putting Vampire Slayer on a thing, like, come on. Then we get another title card here, another 3 weeks later, because she did this for a month, apparently. That's when she's like watching movies again.
Yep.
And,
yes.
And she gets shoe inspiration. She's like, wait a second, great shoes in this movie. Yeah. I wonder if, and then Denise calls like one last time and she's furious and she's like, I guess you're uninvited from my wedding because you stink.
Yep.
Bad friend. Fair enough.
Did she throw a shoe?
Yep.
She throws a shoe, hits the picture. She gets up, goes to pick up the picture, and then it has the epiphany.
That's right.
Shoes,
because the suspender buckle fell on top of the shoe. And so she's like, oh, what if the shoes had suspender buckles?
So yeah, shoes. That's what it's been all along. So she's like, I'm going to design shoes. And then we cut to a shoe montage. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Autumn. I missed all these title cards.
Apparently. Yeah, don't feel bad.
Maybe they were added in for the DVD, like kind of like the 97 Star Wars where they added in scenes. Maybe you got the added in scenes. I bet you did.
Maybe.
Because I completely missed these. Like
technically separate things, I guess, this time again.
Right. So yeah, then we get cue the power vibe song, and she's designing shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Busts out the crayon box and starts drawing shoes.
Yep. And then, that scene's too long for what it is. And then it cuts to her wearing shoes, the shoes that she designed.
Wearing said shoes that she designed, yeah.
And she finds Denise at a wedding dress fitting, right?
Yes. Yep.
And the whole time, the designer, the wedding dress lady, is like, "You don't want to look too busty." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "Give me a minute. I need to talk to my friends."
Yeah. Get out of here, lady.
Then they argue for a couple minutes. She's like, "I could have used your help." Blah blah blah.
Oh, I gotta have to have my sister-in-law or be my maid of honor. She's a 51-year-old sister who looks like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, ruthless.
Nice, good.
Yeah, and then they both cry and apologize to each other. This is when Holly offers to make her wedding shoes.
Yes.
And Denise is like, "What'd you turn into Geppetto?"
Who made toys, right? Not shoes?
No, I think he was a shoemaker.
I don't think he was.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure he made toys. I mean, Pinocchio was a doll, right?
I think that was a pet project.
Maybe he was.
I believe he was a shoemaker.
I thought he just made toys. He was like, he carved things out of wood. He was like a hand, like, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. On Wikipedia, it says Geppetto is an elderly, impoverished woodcarver and creator.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. We'll give. He's not a cobbler. You know,
creator. He's definitely not a cobbler.
Well, he creates Pinocchio, right?
He does create Pinocchio. Yeah, neat.
Yeah, I think he made toys. That's why it's like, this must have been a little Lisa Kudrow doing some riffing.
Yeah, not great. Not her best work. Yeah, this is one of the many times where I thought we were finally close to the end, and we're like still not really. There's still too much left. This is when Thais made a joke about shoe art being shart, which I thought was kind of funny.
That is kind of funny, actually.
Call that out. Then she goes to have lunch with Daniel.
The day date. Yikes, dude. The second one. Yeah, you can't do a lunch date. You're not going anywhere.
Well, and he continues to stink, and he's like, "Oh, why don't we roll this into a nice dinner?" And she's like, "What?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "How are you?" And he's like, "Well, I think about you all the time." And she's like, "Oh, Jerry."
Yeah.
Like,
ooh,
I'm dead.
I'm sorry. Do I look dead to you?
Do I look Scottish to you?
That's rough. And then he rips on it. He's like, "What do you need? A letter to tell you it's okay to do stuff or whatever?" Yikes.
And he does, apparently. Yeah. But he's like, it's very very like 2007, it feels like friend zone-y kind of thing, where he's like, "I'm tired of being your shoulder to cry on. I want to be another body part." And you're like,
that says, yeah, man, use better words. That's like.
And then he's like, "I want to date a woman who likes men." And you're like,
what is going, like,
what? And then he's like, "I want to be somebody's Jerry." And you're like, well, I guess that's
kind of, you're getting better. You're getting warmer. Maybe
the best line that you've said so far, I guess. Yeah.
And then he drive. Yeah. This whole speech is like, what is he doing? And then he's like, "Yeah, I want to use up a woman so good. She's no good for other men." I was like,
yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
And she's like, "I don't think you want to do that." He's like, "Oh no, but you know what I mean." I'm like, well, no one knows what you mean. Cause this is, what are you saying? What is happening? Yeah.
So then he walks out, he storms out, and the waitress comes over and is like, "Oh, you're alone?" And like clears the other room. It's pretty funny.
Fucking ruthless.
"Oh, you're alone now? Okay, you don't need this plate."
You don't need Oh man, so she's sappy again. I was like, no, it's 20 more minutes of sap. No.
Yep.
Okay, so we got a New York City transition shot, the Brooklyn Bridge from the trailer.
Yep.
And we're back at the bar, because that's where you should be.
With Mom.
Yep. Holly shows up, and then this is where it cracks open to being mega depressing too.
She's like, I thought I was going to say no man was going to get me down after Daddy left. Because she turned Southern all of a sudden too. She's like, but now this guy got me down again. Oh, I'm so angry I could kill someone.
I could really kill someone. I was like, whoa. All right.
Excuse me? And then Kathy Bates is like, there. There, daughter.
Yeah, this took a worse turn for the worster here. And yeah, so then they go for a walk. And then Kathy Bates talking about how her and the husband would like drink beers and listen to Jimi Hendrix in the park.
We should drink beer and smoke cigarettes and listen to Hendrix in the park. You're like, what?
This is probably like a day of. They're like, we should have like a little moment here where she has a memory so we could fill in some backstory. And they're like, let's just make it up on the fly. What?
Yeah. And then it gets even sadder because Holly's like, I never remembered you laughing, Mom. Like, you used to laugh? You laughed once? She's like, I laughed once. I did. She's like, did you hate Jerry because he reminded you of Dad? And she's like, yeah, kind of.
A little bit. Mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And then she gives a little speech about how, the worst thing for a parent is, second to losing a child.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching him make basically the same mistakes, repeat his your awful life, right?
Yeah. And then I love, she's like, well, do you ever think we'll see Daddy again? She's like, no.
No. Aw. Yeah, just scratch that one off your bucket list. It ain't happening.
Yeah. And then the final letter was in her pocket the whole time.
Spoiler. Oh, no. It's the end of a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah. She's like, I'm really impressed with how Jerry died. Like, did all this stuff, made me promise, couldn't say no.
Yeah, she's like, man, I had to break. It was like a recap of like a Scooby-Doo episode, right? Yeah. They like flashback, like I had to showing her like breaking into the apartment, stealing the leather jacket.
And Jerry wouldn't have had a brain tumor if it weren't for those meddling kids. And then basically like the mom is kind of just like, well, if we're all alone, at least we're all together in that too. So you have that.
That's fucking like the worst. That's like a sarcastic bumper sticker you find in some idiot's car in fucking middle of nowhere.
And then she's like, okay, bye.
And scene.
So stupid.
I think Kathy Bates was literally like, okay, I need to go. I have another shoot at 3:45 here. And like, all right, Kathy, you can start walking off.
I've got a real movie to shoot. Excuse me.
Oh my God. So then another title card, winner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Christmas again, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel's just leaving these, God, this guy sucks. He's leaving these brutally desperate sounding messages, right?
Yeah, horrible.
Exhibition. He's talking about a new Yankee Stadium. Like, dude, no one cares. No one cares. Yeah. No one cares. Yeah. It's going to be overpriced. No one's going to give a shit.
I think we only because it matters for this scene. When Kathy Bates walks away, that's when we see Holly reading the letter, and there's something about like find a sign, look for a sign, because that's what he always includes that basically in every letter at this point. Yeah. Look for a sign, you'll know what it means. And so yeah, Daniel calls. He's like, forget everything I said at the restaurant, babe. I didn't mean it, babe.
Hey, did you know the Yankees are getting a new stadium? Isn't that crazy, babe? Man.
And then she's sitting on the couch and she's like, Jerry?
Why did she?
Because that's the sign. And that's why, yeah. That's why I went back briefly, because I think that's she's taking that as a sign.
Okay, I thought that was just next level. She was like, oh, she's off the cliff.
Jerry?
And hey, you know, Jerry? Where you got to end any movie is Yankee Stadium. So
that's right. Every movie ends at Yankee Stadium, famously.
Every movie. Daniel's like, I got in because my uncle knows a guy who works, a guy who killed a guy.
Beep boop papa.
Yeah, don't worry about it, huh?
They have a pizza.
Take the cannoli, leave the gun, huh?
Hey, I'm walking here. It's just she like makes him read the letter. It's pretty messed up.
Yeah. So he reads it out loud.
Thais has been crying, by the way, for like the last 15 minutes straight.
It's the last letter. Mm-hmm. It's super sappy, and then basically blah 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 blah. Last thing is, you know, don't be afraid to fall in love again, right?
Yeah, you made my life. I'm just a chapter in yours. Like, you got to live.
And then he calls out the sequel to this movie, P.S. I will always love you.
Lame.
And then they're standing on top of the dugout, and Daniel and Holly decide to kiss. I'm like, no, this doesn't feel right. This can't be right.
I got so mad. I was like, this sucks. He stinks.
I was like, I was sitting there in my PJs, you know, half a glass of wine. I was like, no, it's not him.
I drank almost the whole bottle of wine.
It's not Daniel. It's not Daniel you want to be with. Damn it. We wanted to be Jerry. Go back to Ireland and find William. Mm-hmm. His terrible Irish accent.
No, I don't want that either.
Yeah, I mean,
I want her to be comfortable being single.
Find yourself. Be yourself. And they kiss and immediately decide it's not going to work.
Ew. It's like kissing my sister. Exactly what everyone wants to hear. And then they decide to be weird, bitter friends forever.
We're going to be friends.
I was like,
BFFs.
Were you friends before this? Like, I don't understand. Like, when did they get close? He just seems like he's been a jackass the whole time. But he says to her, what's wrong, friend? And she's like, it's been a whole year and I just don't feel him anymore. I think Jerry's finally gone.
Except
for the music is Flogging Molly song. Which I was like, this is very 2007. I appreciate that.
So yeah.
I never leave this world alive. That one.
So then, like, this end is just, all of this is very strange. So then we cut to, it's a wrap up, right? We get
montage wrap up,
of like photographs of of things that happened. We got wedding photos, we got photos of shoes, and meanwhile she's doing a voiceover, kind of her own letter she wrote to Jerry about life and whatnot. We got photos of the babies happening. We got photos of her being a successful designer, shoe designer, right? At the Gucci or wherever. And then did she take mom to Ireland?
Yeah, she's like, I wanted to make my mom smile. She's never seen the world. She's never been to Ireland. You're like, oh, the whole world is Ireland. Got it.
That's it.
She's never seen the world.
Upstate New York.
Yeah, to Ireland. Okie dokie.
Okay. I mean,
and then they go to Ireland. They bump into Billy at the farm.
And the mom drops her chocolates to Billy's dad there. And I was like, let's step back here and let's do a little math here if this all works out. So you two would be step siblings if the mom and the
who knows?
And William's throwing hay around. He's like, hey, you made it back. How long are you gonna be here for? And she's like,
long enough.
I don't know. And that's it.
I mean, kind of like
yeah, basically.
And then she just goes, then she finishes her letter. P.S. I love you.
Yep.
And then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah, and they walk away, and they're at the farm. They're at the Kennedy farm. They're going to visit, and then they just walk away. And camera pulls up, and title card.
Yeah, which I do kind of appreciate. Like, she realizes it's okay to be alone. Like, I don't think she's going to end up with William, Billy, thankfully.
Do whatever she wants.
And then we get special features.
All right. So this is a special features segment, which we've never done and probably never will do again. But
that's right. Who watches DVDs?
Parents and grandparents. That's it.
That's right. So one of these special features is another, just like the anti-piracy thing at the beginning. It's like that same like black and white, like 50s style weird video explaining how to play Snaps. It's like it's a commercial for the game Snaps, and they do like a jingle the whole time. They're like, Snaps is the name of the game. The name of the game is Snaps. You're like, this is so stupid.
What is happening? Yeah.
And then it's like really weird. Like there's a doctor that shows up and he's like, I guess I'd be in danger of my life if I told people how to play. Like you can't like it, and the whole thing basically is like making fun of this character Jimmy who doesn't get it.
That's me. That's basically me. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well, like I didn't get it either. I was like, this is stupid, asinine game. But maybe you'll get it if I tell you a little bit. So you do like apparently you give a clue about a name based on short sentences, and that's the consonants. And then you snap the vowels.
It's too complicated. I don't like it.
Right. So like, let's say we're doing Tom, like Tom Cruise, right?
Okay.
I'd be like, today was a nice day. And then I'd say, more candy, please. And you'd say, oh, Tom, of course.
Of course. Wait, you snap? Oh, so the snaps don't come through, but how many times do you snap?
A, E, I, O for O.
Oh,
you snap the vowels. You count the vowels. That's how many there are.
So well, hold on. How many there are, or which one it is?
It tells you which one it is in the order. Yeah. Assuming that you're always reciting vowels as A, E, I, O, U.
I don't like that. That's stupid.
It's a stupid game.
I don't like that. No way.
But that's the game, and there's like a 5-minute video. The special features that are.
Is it like is it a real game?
That's what I couldn't really figure out. I did a little Googling, so I was like, did someone invent this for the movie? Is this like a game before that?
I mean, it's obviously it sounds like a legit game. I guess.
Think it's like a real thing.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I had never heard of it either. But I kind of do remember like hearing about it in high school, because like I was in high school then, and I guess they did it in Wet Hot American Summer too, apparently, or I don't know, or in part of it anyway. Like either way, ridiculous. Don't care for it. Then the other special feature that we watch was a conversation with the author, Cecilia Ahern. So I just pulled a couple of bits here. So she tried to write her first novel at 14.
Wow. Good for her.
So no wonder her first published one was 21, right?
Yeah, you got to get your work in.
And she's talking about how P.S. I Love You came from a fear of losing her loved ones. Like, what if someone could communicate with you after they were dead? And then she like kind of like went off on this weird thing of like comparing writing the book to having a dead husband. Like she's like, I'm living Holly's story. She's like, writing the book was like having a dead loved one.
I'm not a big fan of those kinds of analogies. You
Yeah,
know,
me neither.
actors are like, acting, it's like going to war. It's like, no, no, it's not. Don't.
No, it's definitely not.
Just say it's really difficult, or there's other ways to describe it instead of using an analogy where people are actually going and dying.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. And then she's like, oh, and then like, I just I didn't know what to do with my life. Like I was trying to discover myself like Holly is. And then like, thankfully I got my first publishing deal at Christmas right before I graduated college. And you're like, that happens to no one.
oh my God.
And then they had some stuff with Richard there, the writer director, and he's like, you got to remain true to the book, but like, thankfully Cecilia liked how much I changed it. He's like, really, like I Americanized it.
You just moved it to New York.
I love it. And then there was like one of the other, I don't even know how this woman was involved, but she's a producer or something. But basically, like they were complaining, and she was like, well, like we had to shorten it. Like that were bits of it because it's like, and she said, which is conflicting with what we discovered earlier. She's like, well, we can't possibly cover everything in a 300-page book, which apparently was a 500-page book, is what we said.
Well,
earlier,
right? I looked at it on Wikipedia, so I mean, that's
But they're saying 300-page in the special view, but I'm like, has she ever seen like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings? Like they do. What do you mean? Like we can't possibly do a whole 300-page book in 2 hours. And you're like, no, you can. You absolutely can.
You definitely can.
Like just do it better. Just
cut fat.
Yes, exactly. And then there's like a bunch of interviews with the actors, and it's kind of annoying. But basically, like Cecilia, the whole premise of this was she's like, I just felt like I was in a similar place to Holly, like dead husband. Where do I want my life to go?
She doesn't have a dead husband though, right?
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
And that was it. I thought they were interesting.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
So that's it. That's the end of the movie. We're trying out a new segment.
That's right. Give us some feedback, listeners. This is suggested by Thais.
We have a title for it. It's Jared and Russ ameliorate.
That's right.
If you know what that word means, I don't know. Look it up. I don't know what it means, but we're going to do it. I'm going to do now, but
it's like prognosticate. Exactly.
Yeah.
But ameliorate. So how you had a lot of ideas here. You want to start us off?
I think I would have, first of all, like the movie itself, shave 15, 20 minutes off this. 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Easy. Yep.
We've talked about this before. Rom-coms you don't need to be 2 hours long.
Full half hour, I said.
Yeah.
Cut it.
You were a 90-minute zone. Give me an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes at most.
Yep.
Okay. That's the first thing. All the stuff with the sister, cut her out. Don't even need her. She does nothing.
Couldn't agree more. Arguably, you could cut most of Ireland. Like, yeah. I know they added in the New York part, but like the Ireland trip didn't cut the whole fishing trip. That didn't matter.
Those things didn't matter. Like we get it. He's she's doing these things that he's making her do.
Yeah. Go to the in-laws part. That was the important bit of Ireland.
Yeah, and like the flashback memory stuff. That's fine. But you could tighten that up though a little bit. Like
cut those too. Yeah, cut them way down.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't say entirely, but just chop it up.
No, like walking through Ireland doesn't need to be 20 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. This isn't like a nature walk here. Like, right. Let's get to it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd much rather look at the scenery than pay attention to this movie, but
what would I change to like make it just a more enjoyable movie for me? Now this is for me for entertainment purpose. I'd turn this into a psychological thriller and go all in on her kind of going off the edge, right? And then have it, but then her losing it, going off the edge, and maybe or I was kind of really hoping Kathy Bates had like killed Jerry and like was masquerading as him as the ghost.
That would have been awesome. Like, Scooby-Doo style. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, but she went all in. It was like, because maybe there's something she wants to make her daughter feel crazy because she wants her to stay home because she never comes home. So it's like
full misery.
Yeah. And then, right. And then she traps her in the house above the bar. Mm-hmm. And now she's got her family back.
Breaks her ankles.
Breaks her fingers.
Hammer.
Yeah, so she can't design shoes anymore. Breaks her fingers. And then that's it. I think that's would have been the route I would have gone.
Couldn't agree more.
And then the friends come and like help her and save her at the very end. And then she realizes that she's actually not crazy. It's just her mom has been.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
So
that's a good angle.
Right.
I think what I would have done, cut Jerry out of this movie almost entirely. Like have him die at the beginning, like he does, and then don't bring him back ever again.
Yeah.
Don't have him read the letters. Like I think it's more effective if she reads it.
Yeah.
Like cut the flashbacks. They didn't add that much. Don't care for it. Like maybe have her recall a memory to someone or something like that. That would be make it more of like more about her character than like right now. It still feels too centered on Jerry.
It's a Jerry Butts movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm looking for in this kind of romantic, whatever, sad.
Yeah, add more comedy too.
Sure, yeah. If you're trying to make it a rom-com, then yeah, add a joke or two, and cut Harry Connick Jr. also.
yeah, entirely right.
Replace him with I don't know, a story. Replace him with a story to a friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I met this douche once.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Perfect.
Move on.
Give Kathy Bates most of his stuff that was important for plot development. She works at the bar too.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's how I would accomplish shaving a half an hour off. Cut Jerry out of it entirely.
Yeah, because you become too reliant on him to be the one who's got to like.
He's a crutch. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, why not have this actually explore her going through this?
Exactly.
It's all there, but.
So you're welcome, movie writers and directors.
Yeah.
Hit us up if you want tips on how to fix your movie.
Because we will anyways. So
that's right.
I think that's it. Are we gonna we
wrap it up?
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week with a new movie, Trailer Trash. In the meantime, though, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMTpod on Twitter. Send us along to a friend if you think they'd enjoy it, and subscribe wherever you're listening. Yeah. And while you're subscribing, you can also be reviewing. Leave us a review. 5 stars would be nice. Maybe a comment. Maybe a nice comment. Maybe a mean comment. I don't know. Any sort of comment. Yeah, you want to like neg us like Jerry does in this movie constantly? Like, tell us how you cowards! You won't do another podcast episode. I'll put $100 on it. That's right. As long as it's got 5 stars, I don't care. Yeah. Tell us how we can ameliorate the show. Is that how you use that word? Ameliorate. Yeah. Is that the proper usage of the word though? Yeah. Is it a noun? Is adjective? What is it? Is it a noun? No, it's a verb. Yeah. Verb. You ameliorate something. Yeah. So you're improving it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Tell us how we'd ameliorate ourselves. Yes. Which you might want to do in an email because there's more words there, right? Yeah, you can. Yeah. It's going to be a bit, I think. Yeah, one comment won't fix all of our problems. No. So you can drop us a long form feedback at itsthismeetsthat@gmail.com. We'll read it in the trailer trash, or go to the website if you forgot everything we just said. And you can find most of that information there anyway. So all our contact info about the ITMT team, the whole back catalog of episodes. We're closing in on 200 fast. Almost there. Mm-hmm. And check it out. Itsthismeetsthat.com.